What's good with the YouTube, man? This is your boy Rojo. This is the Rojo Room. Today, man, we're going to talk a little bit about that dude Blackbird. Made infamous by Woodie, as well as a situation where allegedly he took out his two children as well as himself after a full-day police standoff. Now, I found a little article, man. I'm going to read it real quick just so there's facts. I don't misconstrue anything. And then we'll talk about it a little bit, man. So here we go. Carlos Joseph Ramirez, police say, is a volatile man who is suspected of killing in the past and is capable of anything. When police late Friday maintained their perimeter around the Putnam Street house where Ramirez, 22, continued to hold his two daughters hostage, officials painted a violent picture of the man inside. Police Captain Kit Switchers said that Ramirez surfaced again in Antioch. They knew it was going to be a volatile situation, knowing his past. I believe he feels he doesn't have anything to lose. Ramirez, who police say is a Norteño gang member, is believed to have shot and killed 17-year-old Martin Maya during a November 17, 1995 confrontation in downtown Antioch. Maya was with alleged gang members when he encountered a group of men, including Ramirez, in a parking lot. According to witnesses, Ramirez pulled out a gun and began firing at the group, police said. Maya was shot in the head, abdomen, and arm and died the next day. Two other men were injured in the shooting. In 1994, police say Ramirez shot and injured four men outside a West 10th Street convenience store following an argument Ramirez had with another man. Police later linked casings from the scene to shells found at the scene of the Maya murder. Police also say Ramirez was involved in the shooting on April 17, 1995 at a downtown Antioch party. In that case, a friend of Ramirez, Gabriel Roberson, was suspected of shooting and killing a Concord man. Police say this was in retaliation for an earlier 1995 drive-by shooting by rival gang members that left Ramirez's brother, Raymond, paralyzed. Following the Martin Maya killing, Ramirez disappeared and it was thought he may have gone to Mexico where he has relatives. 6 months ago, however, police say they got word he may have returned to the area. Investigators interviewed Ramirez's mother and searched her live drive home on several occasions, but they failed to find Ramirez. Police also maintained contact with his girlfriend, Cami Viramontes, 26, the mother of his two daughters, but she offered little information. I think there was a lot of fear on her part to report him. District Attorney Investigator Jerry Sanchez says Friday's hostage incident is the first he has heard of in Ramirez in almost 3 years. We've wanted to bring him to justice, but he wasn't in the area. There wasn't a lot we could do. A family friend of Ramirez, however, says she thinks he never left the area and remained in Contra Costa County following the Maya shooting. I don't think he ever left the county, said Jennifer O'Shea, mother of Gabe Roberson. He just loves his children too much. Switcher said Ramirez and Viramontes were seeing each other on and off, but it is unclear where the relationship stood Friday when Ramirez burst into Viramontes' home. Friends and family members describe Ramirez as a quiet man who was respectful of others. His cousin Cisco Ramirez, interviewed at the police department Friday, said Carlos Ramirez was not part of the earlier shootings attributed to him. He's quiet and nice, not what he's been portrayed at in the newspapers and other media. Cisco Ramirez says his cousin wouldn't think of killing his daughters because he loves them. Those are his daughters. He loves those kids. Family members at Ramirez's mother's home declined to comment. Now, a lot of things played out. That's the end of the article, by the way. Now, a lot of things played out as a result of that. You got a shooting at a quinceanera in Antioch, which Gabe Roberson was found guilty of. Even after a mistrial, like this is what happened in the trial. The first one, man, there was only one person who identified him out at a big crowded hall, and that person had consumed at least a 6-pack of beer. And that allowed one juror to believe that that's not, sufficient evidence to convict in a homicide, which I would have to agree to, man. One person potentially drunk, everybody gets drunk different. Some people with 6-pack will slaughter them. People like me, that won't even warm me up yet. But that's just me. I'm a grown man. So they ID'd one person out of everybody in the hall. ID'd Gabe as the shooter. And I know Gabe, and I know his lack of responsibility in that incident. He wasn't even there. Now, he ended up getting found guilty and getting life. He was just recently denied parole. That standoff at Antioch with Blackbird, Carlos Ramirez, ended somehow in the deaths of both children and himself. There's a lot of speculation that he wasn't culpable in that crime. We'll never know the real facts, man, because for one, there'd be overwhelming evidence that he did so. For two, if they went in there and stormed the house and it was the police, they wouldn't want to be held accountable. Common belief is he did do it, you know what I mean? But we'll never know. He's unfortunately no longer with us, right? So the thing I get back to, man, is a lot of people say that, Woody is no longer with us because he felt a certain type of way about Gabe getting life for something he didn't do and whatnot. And some people say it was behind a girl. There's been recent, proclamations that there was a suicide note left by him claiming responsibility for the actions that Mr. Roberson is currently in prison for. I haven't seen it. I don't know. This is just a real interesting case, man, because, I know Blackbird, I know Gabe, they're with the business. You know what I mean? I know Woody, you know what I mean? And this whole thing with Gabe having life and Blackbird being gone and his brother dying also. His brother got hit in a drive-by, many years ago. Like, I want to say it was like 1994. And he ended up being paralyzed and, just passed away, a few years back or whatnot. And, they're trying to figure out if he died from complications of that shooting, and they'd be looking for murder charges. They never even had a suspect in that case, man. Like, what does it matter what charges you put? 94, 04, 14. It's coming up on 30 years from that shooting. If you ain't got somebody now, with the advancements in DNA and things of that nature, forget about it. It's not happening, man. But this was a real unique case, man. Up until about, the time of his brother, Blackbird's brother getting shot, Antioch was relatively quiet. That's what awakened Antioch, was that particular shooting. Them homeboys out there were like, nah, man, nah. This ain't going to go down no more. It used to be, when people thought of Contra Costa County, they thought of Richmond and Pittsburgh, only. Other towns were mentioned as irrelevant and whatnot. Slowly conquered, put themselves on the map, and Antioch is definitely on the map. They've put out a lot of great rappers. Big Tone, Woody, man, too many to name. East Cocoa Records, House from there, and that's. Although Darkroom Familia was around longer, man, I think East Cocoa Records, Woody and them are really what established rap as far as the Northerners go. My opinion. Could be wrong. They put out a quality product, collaborated with some amazing talent, and they brought it to you left and right, left and right, left and right. So, this whole thing, man, I wanted to bring it up, man, because there's a lot of people that aren't really familiar and don't really know about the history of what went on with them three guys. They of course, after you die, they're going to try to hold you responsible for things to try to make it look like, oh, well, we closed our case and whatever, and started attributing all types of things to Mr. Ramirez, Blackbird. And, man, we'll never know, man. There's weird things that go on between the police and homicides and gangs. You can't never tell what's right and what's wrong, but I'll tell you what, man, Snoop, Gabe Roberson, he never should have been convicted. He should have been at home for decades. You know what I mean? And hopefully something will come to light that will allow that to transpire, or he'll make parole, because he deserves to be out on the streets, man. He's a good dude. I know him well, and I know for sure he wasn't involved in that. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, I have no way to prove it. You know what I'm saying? So let's wish that youngster, well, not a youngster no more. When I met him, he was a youngster, but let's wish that OG, the best in his case and mercy from the parole board or some kind of miracle that'll allow him to get back to his family, because he definitely deserves it, man. But Blackbird, Snoop, Woody, you know what I mean? Those are Antioch legends, man. And I just wanted to touch on this real quick one time, you know, to kind of give a shout out to the forefathers of Antioch, man. This is your boy Rojo. This is the Rojo Room. Hope y'all have a great day. See you on the live later.